Okay, it is 1 o'clock. I hope everyone can hear me. If not, put a message in the chat to let us know. Hopefully the audio is just fine. Today we're going to, oh, and one other thing is if you have questions, please post them in the chat. Amy Rockel is assisting me today with moderating the chat function, and she will answer questions, or she will stop me and have me answer questions, or she will interject. So that's how the session will work today. I'm starting out, today's topic is getting help, both for faculty and students. I want to start out again with a shameless plug of our newsletter, In Touch with My Courses. You should have gotten an email from Instructional Design at southeast.edu on August 5th, and again, I think the day before yesterday, reminding you of it, and it includes some important updates. Please, please, folks, and this is relevant to help, please open the emails from Stephanie, our Associate Dean, and from Instructional Design, because that's where we're going to give you important help and important tips so that your term runs smoothly. And I'm going to show you why the newsletter is important. This section called This Just In gives you some important help tips and information that you need to know that makes it unnecessary for you to contact help to get this information. It provides some information about the term courses, converted PowerPoints, My Media, some new content in the instructor orientation. So that's why we want you to basically be sure that you open the newsletter and take a look. Now I'm going to look in the section that we had about getting help, and I'm going to use that as kind of the starting point here. Today, this session will not run an hour, I don't think. We want to just kind of give you an overview and then give you time to ask us questions about how to get help so that it's clear. I think a lot of the faculty are a little bit confused about where to go for different types of help. I think the newsletter kind of condenses it and makes it kind of brief. We'll also take a look at the Canvas orientation course and some other avenues, but first I'm going to primarily talk about faculty help. If faculty need help with using Canvas, the college, according to point 1 here, and I'm just reiterating this, the college paid for 24/7 Canvas support. And that 24 Canvas support allows faculty to, obviously, any time of the day or night, contact Canvas with any kinds of how do I do this in Canvas type questions. And I kind of at this point in time feel like it's being a little bit underutilized. So please make sure that you do go to the Canvas help, and I'll show you where that is. If you're on your dashboard or if you're in a course, if you've got Canvas open anywhere, there's a help icon in the lower left-hand side. It is where you would go to get help. And this menu is user role sensitive, so the students see an abbreviated version of this that is designed only for students. But you can see that you can go to the chat and do chat. You can use their phone hotline, and you can ask a question here via email. In addition, if you like searching for things on your own, there's the Canvas guides. I wouldn't put that as the top of the list for somewhere to go for help. I would probably use that if you're looking for something kind of unusual. I'm a little bit lazy, so when I want a Canvas guide about something, I just go to the chat and I ask them for a guide or for information on how to do what I'm trying to do, and they will direct me to the Canvas guide. Another thing is in the orientation course, which we will be going into in a minute, there are a lot of Canvas guides already linked, and it's in sections where we provide our own special tips and help. And Amy was the primary designer on that course. She did a great job. And so it's kind of our one-stop shop. And I guess I'm kind of moving on to this one too. Here, what do you need for course development and delivery? So that will provide you with some Canvas guides too. I'm kind of meshing the two together, which is probably confusing you. So let me restate. Your number one place to go for how to do something in Canvas is a 24/7 support that's available via the help icon that I just showed you. Okay, that is your number one place to go for support. Okay, the second place you can go for support is if you need help with course development. And in that course that I just talked about, which is the Canvas orientation course, it should look like this on your dashboard. That's the course that Amy designed that will give you information on course development. So in other words, how to build, what kind of content, support with your content. Not how do I add a discussion, not how do I do this, how do I do that, but more the pedagogy side on how to build content in Canvas and make it work for you and for your students. And we're just going to go to the modules right now and take a look at the organization of it. Hopefully all of you have already been here, but you can see where it gives you modules that are carefully titled, so you kind of have an idea about where you are going to look for things. And yes, there are embedded in all of these some Canvas guides that link you back to the how-to. For example, the resource documents do take you back to some of the how-to, but we also want you to focus on the information provided in the top portion of the document that gives you some best practice tips and information on how to do your course design well. So the orientation course is primarily course design. And if you just want to figure out how to do something, a skill, you can go to the 24/7 support, or you can go back to these resource documents that are listed in each section. Okay, finally, one more thing before I stop for questions. The third place you can go for help is to go to the SCC help desk, but only for issues that are SCC related. Your computer isn't working right. Your account doesn't seem to be working right. There's problems. There's a problem with something on the hub. For example, the other day I had an instructor contact me and said when he did not have the My Courses tab on the hub. That really isn't us because we don't maintain the hub. So if you think about it, that would be a help desk issue. If you have issues with Office 365, if you have problems with your network, if you have problems with the hardware that the college has provided you, those are the times you would go to the SCC help desk. And so please make sure that you think about that, and that might be of assistance to you. I'm going to go, and here it also in the newsletter says you can go to the help resources in the orientation course, and those will also, we're back in our orientation course, those will also reiterate where to go for what type of help. And I think that's our biggest confusion right now. In the past with Moodle, we helped everybody with everything. We have divided our support a little bit differently now, and technical issues are not our issues anymore. We're trying to focus more on instructional design and course design issues. For example, we no longer can create masters. We no longer can add users to provision courses. Faculty can add their own co-workers to master courses or to their sandbox. So some of those things you can do independently without having to wait on somebody, and some of the things that we used to be able to do are not things that the instructional design team has the ability to do anymore in Canvas. So with that being said, I'm going to pause and see if anybody has questions. Are there questions from anyone?
Hey, Sue, this is Amy. Just want to jump in on one thing. Yeah, as Sue pointed out, our department has kind of had some reorganization, and some tasks have been, divvied out that we used to do as far as like the LMS system administration and the technical support, so that we can get to helping with what our jobs are meant to be with the course development and do projects for the instructors, dealing with that. So things like helping you brainstorm how to adapt your content to deliver online, or making the content more interactive and engaging. So things like that, come to us with. One area that we get called about quite a bit is I'm missing my term course, or when will we have our term course? A different instructor is listed for my course, things like that. And so just to explain that process a little bit, the term courses get provisioned through registration. And so we don't make the term courses. What is in registration system kind of gets fed into Canvas. So if the instructor needs changed, the program chair or associate dean would need to contact registration. And then when that instructor in their system is reassigned, then that should feed into Canvas, and then you would get access to your term course. So those kinds of questions regarding term courses would need to go through registration. So that was all I had.
Okay, there is a chat question and says, am I understanding things correctly? Last quarter, I needed to contact SCC Help Desk to add an instructor to my development course, but now I can do that. I'm not quite sure what the question is there, but you can add, if it's your master course or your sandbox, you have the ability to add a user yourself. And it's as simple as, I'll demonstrate here. If you go into the course and click on people, and then plus people, and then type in the person's email address. If they have never logged into Canvas, you're going to have to use their ID number, like SD405 at southeast.edu, but if they're a current Canvas user, it should be their SCC email address. You would choose their role, which would be teacher, and then go to next. I have more options here because I've got a different role than other people. And then you would go to next, and it prompts you, do you want to add this person? And you add them, and then it sends them an invitation to join the course. I believe, let me go back to modules. I believe that's in modules also, and I think it is probably where I came from, in people. I think it will tell you, let's see here. Amy, am I in the right place? We just added that document. We have the supervisor.
Yeah, how do I give a supervisor or instructor access to a course? I think that that covers how to do it for masters, and if it's a term course, contacting registration.
Right. So I'm in the document, how to add a supervisor or instructor to a course. I'm in the module, I'm down in the module that has people in it, which is the student progress, people analytics and statistics. If you open that document and click the resource link over here, how do I give a supervisor or instructor access to a course? It goes through the steps and explains the difference. You can only add people to your master course, I suppose to your sandbox too, but you cannot add anyone to your term course or your provision course, whatever you want to call it. The course that has students in it that you're teaching in, you cannot add anyone to that, and this page will walk you through the contact people that you need to reach out to get assistance with that. And at the bottom again are the steps for how to do it in your own master course. Are there any other questions? Okay, let's move on. So basically, we've covered faculty help. I know I'm being a little bit brief, but that really is it. And I think Amy's emphasis is on the design things, like, for example, let's just go look in the modules and take a little bit of a tour of this. There's a whole section in here about third-party plugins. Now, we don't help with publisher content, but these other items, PowerPoints is an automated process now, but with Kaltura Video, with H5P, with StudyMate, some of those products, we're looking at how to help you incorporate those in your courses. And there are other, so those are the types of design things that should be pointed in our direction. And I just might want to editorialize a little bit. This newsletter is done with a product called Rise. Excuse me, Rise. And it can include like a quiz in it. And so it could be more than just a nice newsletter or a way to deliver text. It can also be a way that you can have an integration of an assessment piece with your information, and it can be built into Canvas so that you can do that, add that kind of an interactivity level to your course. Also, the instructional design team members are the ones that own Rise. It's not owned by the college in general, so you would have to contact instructional design at southeast.edu or one of your instructional designers for assistance with that. Those are the things that we're trying to move toward. You know, so that's a little bit about faculty help.
Sue, just a couple things. I'm going to kind of piggyback on what you're saying. Sue gave our shared email, instructional design at southeast.edu. I know it makes me feel special when I'm an instructor's like go-to person, but just a little tip right now, because we're all out of the offices so much for sessions and appointments with different people and trainings and everything, you may want to utilize that shared email, because then, you know, one of us is hopefully available in the office kind of monitoring that and can respond more quickly than if you email us individually or call us individually, and we may be out of the office, you know, sometimes all day at another campus doing something. Or so that is just a tip, especially right now. It's a good thing to use the shared email so that you get a response faster. And then one other thing, you're on the screen that Sue's sharing right now, you can see a link for publisher course websites in the third-party module. And so we cannot really support or train on the publisher sites because we do not have access to those and we don't maintain those sites or anything. So if you use a publisher site that's integrated with your course, they have representatives at the companies that will help train you and meet with you and get those set up. A lot of times programs have sessions with everyone in the program, and the publisher rep comes and kind of walks you through syncing your course with their site and your Canvas shell. So just a little note about the publisher websites.
Right, and to piggyback on Amy, Vital Source has replaced Red Shelf for your for ebooks and so on, and we don't have any information about that. So I would contact either your bookstore person or, first of all, probably your immediate supervisor to find out more information about what to do with Vital Source. I had that question come in today. So that's a little bit about that. And to go into a little bit more here, if you want help, by now we hope that everybody's finishing off their courses and trying to do the polish to it. And this whole section on viewing masterpieces, if you attended the workshop yesterday, we spent 2 hours with talking about content and finishing touches. The recording is now available in the newsletter. Let me go down to the in-service information. And if you open the newsletter, any of our previously presented sessions, like if you missed the H5P session, here's the recording for that. So like yesterday's finishing touches, there was a handout. So there's not only the recording there, but a handout. So if you've missed any of our sessions and need to go back to them, this would be a good point to take a look. And let me see, where was I going with that? Okay. With this viewing masterpieces, you can see there are good examples of all sorts of different things. So that's an idea about how to incorporate some of those things. And then if you want to know where the course requirements are, they're right here. The required elements are displayed right here. This is a good way to do a final check on your course. This is a way to get help with finding out what you need to do to finish off your course. There's another course evaluation checklist provided by Canvas that would help you do a final run through on your course. All these things are, and here's a cheat sheet. If you don't remember how to do some of the skills, like how do you link on your syllabus page, how do you edit your home page, how do you set your course home page, and I don't know if all of you have been in these other sessions, but it's really, really important that after you get your master course over into your term course by copying it, that you make sure that when you hit the home button, it goes to the course banner page, which is the course home page, instead of the modules. So please pass that word around. If you don't know how to do that, the tips are here. And also there's some good tips on how to review your gradebook and make sure that it's properly set. So we're trying to provide faculty with materials that give them opportunities to self-help a little bit on some of these things, and also do that final check that will in turn, we're rolling into the next part, help students, because the smoother and cleaner your course is, the better it is going to be for students, and the fewer requests for help you will get from them. Now, speaking of help, we have an example of a student help page in here. So this will give you an idea about how students can get help and where to refer them. Again, if it's any type of a how-to question, you should be sending them to the help icon in the global bar. Please don't refer to it as the blue global navigation bar, because some students use and some faculty use high contrast screens for aiding the viewing, and it won't appear to be blue to them. So if you just mention the sorry, I'm going to try to make my screen a little bit bigger for people here. If you just mention the help icon in the bar, that they should be able to find that. But we've tried to write out some instructions here to identify 24/7 support for students. When they click the help menu over here, it will be context sensitive. They will not see the faculty. They will not see anything else here but the ones labeled for students. They'll see the help desk, the hub, ask your instructor a question. I'll talk about that in a minute, and maybe I don't know about anyhow, I don't know which ones, but in other words, it's context sensitive. I'm not sure it will give them the Canvas guides. My guess would be maybe not, but it would probably just, if it does, it would be context sensitive and send them only to the student help guides. Do not copy and paste any of these phone numbers and put them in your course, especially not the faculty one, because the faculty is for faculty. Instead of doing that, let's try to get away from that. Let's try to provide students to help to our students in a dynamic way rather than a static way. So that would mean pointing them to where to go for the help, but not drilling down so far as to provide them with a phone number, which might not be the same in 6 months or 3 months. Just direct them to the right spot, and that will be better than trying to do not download any of our PDF files and upload them, or don't copy and paste and put it in a page where it's static. Let them point them in the right direction, and then let them use those links, because they will be always updated. Canvas keeps their guides totally updated. So please, and right here it says guides are updated every 3 weeks. Let's not give them any content, and let's not reinvent the wheel. We'd rather have you all focusing on your course content and not on that. And another very, very, very important place to send students is the Canvas student orientation course. Now let me show you how that, okay, I'm going to go into a different course. Every home page in every course should have the banner, and it should have this information below here. And here is a Canvas student orientation course. Students self-enroll in that course. I've already enrolled. Faculty can enroll also. Anyone that wants to look at the student orientation can enroll. And I think the other day, Brandon or Amy told me we have over 500 students already in that course looking at things. It's very, very important that you direct them to that, because it not only gives them an overview about what is in the course, but it delivers it in a way that makes sense to the students, and it's one-stop shop for all the things that they need as they begin their student life in Canvas at SCC. And you can see there's a welcome. It's giving them some technical requirements. It's how to get help with Canvas, how to plan, how to search from frequently asked questions, how to navigate, how to set your profile, how to do notifications. I've had a lot of faculty say, how do we give students instructions on how to set up their profile and set their notifications? Send them to the student orientation course. It's all here. How to update your profile, how to manage your inbox, how to do discussions, how to do your assignments, how to take quizzes, how to check your grades. So there's also the mobile app. So in my mind, how to get help with Kaltura. Our Kaltura help for students is here. It gives them everything they need to know about Kaltura, including how to do the recording, how to edit, how to upload their media, how to add Kaltura to Canvas, and actually we even have this guide here that's specially written for students so they can actually print it and download it, and we will keep this current, but it actually walks them through step by step on how to use Kaltura. So refer the students to the orientation course or to the Canvas help. And if you get them going one of those two places, you're going to be in great shape. The only other place you should maybe ask, or that students might need to go, is to the help desk for SCC computer problems, just like faculty. If they're having password issues, if they can't get in on the hub, those kinds of things, if they are having trouble with something SEC related, then like, I don't know, Amy, help me out. Mainly passwords, login issues.
Yeah, account issues,
Yes.
hub problems, lab computers, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things. So that's where your student help goes. That's where you need to go for student help. I think it would be a really good idea to guide your students when your term starts and give them a welcome announcement. And we have a sample welcome announcement here for you to use that you can download and paste into your own announcement. It reminds them where to go and what to do. So I think this would be really helpful too if you give them an opening welcome announcement and remind them of where they need to go for help. Okay? That's pretty well all I have to say about help. Amy, do you have any other things to add?
Yeah, the examples that Sue has shown you, we have it for the welcome announcement and the student help page, so you can download and copy and paste, that text or upload the file, so that you can use it word for word in your own course or edit, make your edits, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We'll also be working on, because we have examples of introductory activities, so we're going to be working on providing the text for those that you see in the examples as Word files that you can also copy and paste from, so that it saves you some, typing time if you want to use them pretty much as they're shown, or just, with little revisions, then it's pretty much done for you. We'll be working on getting those added in as Word documents that you can use to copy and paste. One thing with the student orientation, that orientation contains activities that the students can submit as practice. And we do have, as Sue said, a lot of students taking advantage of that orientation course and participating. So daily, we're getting multiple emails from students from the orientation, just saying, oh, practicing with the inbox, in the orientation. And, we send a message back, but yeah, they're practicing posting in, sample discussions and everything like that. So that helps them be better prepared for their courses, but it is it's not a required thing. It's self-enroll. They're not required to look at any particular information. They can go through it at their own pace and look at what they need to, or go through the whole thing top to bottom. So, but they really do seem to be taking advantage of it.
Right. And that is important. They can actually try to do a quiz, a discussion, an assignment, and it does feed in. So they do have the immediate results and have that confidence level that they may not have if they did not have this orientation course. So please take care. The two primary resources are our instructor orientation course, our student orientation course. That in tandem with the 24/7 support with Canvas, which is the how-to. Those are probably the backbone of the techniques on how to get help. Does anyone have any other questions before we wrap up? I don't see anything in chat. Any questions? All right, it's Friday afternoon, and I will point you at the next workshop that we have available, and that will be Communication in Canvas on August 20th. And here's the information. It will be live from the Lincoln campus. It will be streamed into these rooms on the other campuses. And here's the link, the live link if you need it to stream. And that takes place on the 20th from 9 a.m. to 10:30. We have 2 other sessions, another one on the 20th, backup and import process, and finalizing the grade book. So those are our remaining sessions. And then there are 2 more open labs. So we hope that you all will take advantage of those and have a good weekend.